All right, we live. So go ahead and hit
Let
live on Instagram.
me see if I can see. All right, we live. We live on Instagram.
All right. All right, what's up, world? This is Owl 54A.
What's going on, good people? This is Awo Sheun. Welcome back to the Who Made Y'all Priest podcast, where we talk about our spiritual journeys, our everyday life experiences, and the issues of the time from the perspective of two people who just happen to be priests. 54A, what's going on?
Man, another day, another dollar. That is cold out here in Houston, Texas. What's good?
It's cold, man. The sun was out today, man. It got up to like almost 70 degrees.
Oh yeah, it was cold the couple days before that. I guess I'm stuck on that.
Oh, it's cool outside right now though. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's been cold, man. I know about it. I've been working out there in.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of working, I just got back in the office after having a government sanctioned vacation for 43 days.
How was that for you, man? I know you got a lot done.
I did. Probably read about 4 books during that time. Um, so that was cool. Um, kind of started, kind of getting into things that I've been wanting to get into, but was too busy. But with having those 8-hour days freed up, yeah, it was good. It was good. So, but it's been cool getting back. I know it's gonna be hard going back because it's the longest I've been out of work since the 35-day government sanctioned vacation I got during Trump's first administration. But
Yeah.
you know, so probably not gonna get another one of these. Like these are once in a lifetime. Except Trump came twice, so once in a lifetime type of thing. So, but no, it's all good, man. It's about to be the holidays, and then have more days off, and then the New Year's upon us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know you one of the very few people that look forward to those as you call them government sanctioned vacations. You one of the few people that look forward to them, man. A lot of people was uh struggling during this lockdown. So you are fortunate in that you had the ability to you know stay afloat and even thrive. And you say you read 4 books. I mean, it'd take me forever to read 4 books. Forever.
Yeah, yeah, man. I read a couple of books by Sadhguru. I like Sadhguru.
Hmm.
Like I really like Sadhguru. I read Adiyogi by Sadhguru. Um, I read what else did I read? I read a book about a guy who back in the early 1900s went to Tibet because he wanted to learn how the Tibetan monks were able to like stay young looking for so long.
Hmm.
So it's about the Tibetan rites. I read that book. Um, I'm currently actually reading this book right
Oh
here
yeah, I
that you
put you
told me to
on.
read. Um,
Yeah, it's a good book, man. What you think about it so far?
so I'm about 90 pages in it. I'm in
Hmm.
2 chapters down. It took something that I knew and it gave me a lot more detail. That was
Hmm.
good. Like
Right.
I knew Africans had to actually play a role in the slave trade in order for it to be what it is.
Hmm.
But they was getting money, money. Like when I say
Hmm.
they played a role, it was like they was getting to it. They was like the economy around uh what we call modern day Benin and Togo.
Hmm.
Man, the royal families, the Homeland royal families was getting money.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the French, the Portuguese, the British, and like it was a lot of murder. One thing that we probably um, wrongly have done is, like when Christians are talk about Christianity and they try to put Christianity on a pedestal, we are quick to remind them of how, we came to Christianity through murder, through war, through torture, all these different types of things. And while in African spirituality, you don't have that, but you do have people who practice these forms of African spirituality, where we talk about things like good character, and they were as gruesome and murderous as what we talk about the Romans, right? And so
Hmm.
I didn't know that was going on to that extent. You know what I'm saying? Um, I simplified it, or I should say, overly simplified it to being my tribe got a beef with the tribe up the street. These Europeans came and said, "Hey, we'll give you some paper if you go help us capture your enemy."
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, they didn't know that, like they was thinking they were gonna be enslaved, like how they were enslaving people to do domestic chores around that they didn't want to do. Nah, it was far more than that.
Hmm.
Like they were going to go get people. Like they knew what it was. They was going to get people. They was trying to get the guns, the liquor, the gold. So they were like, look, we about to just start doing these slave raids. We grabbing whoever we can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we trying to get that money. And the Europeans were like, yo, we need X number of thousands of bodies per year. And they was going to get it. And they
Hmm.
talked about the Dahomean royal family. They was so vicious with it that they was trying to cut everybody out of the slave trade, and how they were going to war with people, the murder and atrocities that these Dahomean kings were committing. I was just like, yo, I didn't know it was that bad, you
Hmm.
know. Um,
Yeah.
for me, for the people who've seen Goodbye Uncle Tom, it was like I knew about slavery and understood the atrocities of slavery, but watching that show was like, yo, that movie was crazy. It really put it in a deeper and darker perspective for me.
I've
And
never
so,
seen that.
oh man, don't watch it. I don't recommend it. It was it was it was too well done.
Oh
And
man.
it was so well done to the point where you like, I noticed a movie, but I feel like you commit some atrocities now by doing what you doing to put this on film.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't recommend it. I had one of my white homies watch it one time, and I mean she couldn't even get into it even a little bit. She was like, "Yo, I was distraught," you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Hi Madison.
Yeah, that was a good I didn't read the whole thing. I think I got a little bit farther than you are right now. But yeah, man, it was a lot, and he mentioned specific kings by name, like those that converted to Christianity for the
Mm-hmm.
purpose of, getting to it, getting to the money as far as slavery is concerned. And and if we take the emotion out of it, then I think we really start to understand that that's exactly what it was about. It was just about money. Like it really had nothing to do in the beginning, I think. In the beginning, it really had nothing at all to do with race. It just had to do with money and who was willing to get off of bodies like that.
And that's real talk. I don't even think the N word is a negative term. It was a derogatory term to keep it a buck. Because I remember looking it up in like 10 years ago in the etymology of it. They didn't even have etymology for it. And the way they described it was just a term to describe black people. And I don't think they was using derogatory. I think they were using something that they heard that was associated with us. Maybe they couldn't pronounce it or whatever, and that's how they used it And then later on, they try to put a definition to it, like a lazy person. How is the person doing the work lazy? Like that
Mm,
definition never, like an ignorant, lazy person or something like that. I know lazy was definitely in the definition that was always circulated when I was, younger. But
mm,
I'm like, that never made sense to me. And
right.
so when I looked at the etymology, it basically was like, yeah, we don't have no meaning to this. It was just associated with those people. But yeah, it
Mm,
didn't have nothing to do with race. I think what happened is that the people in charge started seeing some of the other people who weren't getting no money from it starting to feel a certain type of way. And so they had to create the racism around it to be like, oh, don't trip. Like they're not even real people. You know what I'm saying? They're not even human. And so I think the power that be created this thing around it so people will stop tripping like, yo, why y'all doing it? This ain't right.
mm.
And it worked. And it kind of grew legs from there. But I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about what I read today.
In that book.
Yeah,
Mm,
slavery, everybody was getting paid. They start breaking down like slavery was central to the economy of the Dahomean kingdom, and they talked about like how everybody was getting paid. Like they had people, they needed soldiers, they needed security guards to guard the forts. They talked about how they needed uh people to man the boats because sometimes they would come out, they would get on canoes, and then they would go out to the boats. They had those people. They had women to bathe them, all kind of craziness. So yeah, it was a lot of different positions that kind of spread out from this aspect of uh slavery. So everybody had their hand in the cookie jar. Everybody
mm.
was getting paid a little bit of money. You know.
You said something that made me think about something that I thought about a few years ago. I say a few years just because I don't know how many, but it's been a minute. Um, so, do you feel that the racism that was built around slavery was sort of a way to justify slavery? Because you said
Mhm.
that these people don't even worry about it. These people ain't even human, and everything was built around that to justify slavery, even though it was just an economic choice in the beginning.
Exactly. That's all it was. It
Yeah,
was
that's
when
how I
people
feel about
started
it.
feeling a way about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you go way back, you had people all over Europe, you had people in the United States who were coming out like, yo, this not right. And so they had to create, a story around it so it could be cool. Like
Mm.
I remember reading a long time ago that before, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I was reading it said before the Holocaust that um, Adolf Hitler fluoridated the water because it has a neurological effect. So that when they came out and started slaughtering Jews, people would just be like, it's whatever.
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Your sound going in and out, which I ain't hear what you said.
I said, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I said I heard or I read somewhere that during the Holocaust or leading up to it, that Hitler fluoridated the water in Germany
Mm,
because it has a neurological effect. And so when they started to exterminate the Jews, that the people wouldn't care because essentially they were doped up.
mm,
So yeah, that if nothing more, that's where marketing came from. Real talk, like you go back to ancient Egypt, you had marketing in some of the stuff that some of the pharaohs put on the wall. Like, they was taking credit for other people's stuff and they was creating their own story. That was the first, etching stuff on the walls was the first IG, Facebook, and TikTok, you know? And
right.
so, and then you had the slave trade, you had the Holocaust, you had all these things where there was a lot of marketing that was associated with. So, yeah, those were like the earliest examples of great marketing. And we
Mm,
bought it hook, like, and sinker as a group.
mm, yeah. I've always thought about the racism kind of coming later and being a justification behind something that was economical in its inception. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew about the part that Africans played in the slave trade, but that's something that we kind of keep uh, hush hush because there's so much emotion attached to it, and not the one of the excuses is that what you just said is that they didn't know what type of slavery that these Africans were going to be going into. That they thought it was going to be something more domestic, like the Africans and other people have been practicing for so long. But like you say, like you found out in that book, is that no, they knew for sure. Like they had in-depth conversations with the Portuguese, with all of these different people. Like they knew what was going on, and they continued to
Mm-hmm.
supply uh, bodies, no emotion attached, just straight economic, straight getting money.
I'm gonna go a step farther. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, they didn't know. The way they went about enslaving these people,
Mm-hmm.
that still is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So even if they didn't, let's for the sake of argument, let's say they did know. Man, the murder, the I mean that they said they would do this thing. They would have this tribute once a year where they would just kill sometimes thousands of people. Like that's just what they did, you
Yeah,
know. And then they got to a point where they only did animals, you know.
yeah, man.
So yeah,
That was
we
a,
was the
that was
first ebos.
a,
Our ancestors was the first ebos.
man. That was a yeah, that was a hell of a read at the beginning of that book, man. And uh it gets better, and he gets to talking about the songs, and you'll start to get into the things that you're really looking for in the book. He'll get to linking the ancient African practice of Vodou to Haitian Vodou, and you'll start to see. And it's in that book as well where you're going to learn about because we get so much information about the Gade are indigenous to Haiti. Even the Petro that the Petro are indigenous to Haiti. I think you'll start to get more information about how some of these things did in fact come from Africa. That almost all of it did.
Oh yeah, they got a river or some kind of lake of some body of water that's called Danto. I saw that
Mm,
in there. They have so well. I'm gonna tell you what's interesting. As I'm reading the book, I'm familiar with Badagry,
mm,
the slave port in Nigeria. And I remember I was reading it and they kept talking about it because at some point, you had the Oyo Empire who was going out of Badagry and at the Porto Novo. And I kept reading Badagry every time I see it, I was like, man, this ain't look a whole lot like Ogu Badagry.
mm,
And sure enough, as I'm reading, they make a tie to those two,
mm,
right? And I mean, they got a tie to Agwe. They have a tie to um, there's a spirit there that reminds me a lot like the way the word is of Sampana,
mm.
And so, but yeah, it's a lot of ties. There's ties to places in Haiti, essentially is named after places that go back to Benin. And like you said, there are some spirits, like they talk about the Ezili court. Man, they say that ain't get started in Haiti.
Mm.
In the book, they're saying, oh, that was something that you can find remnants of that back in Dahomey, which
Yeah,
is modern
all
day Benin and Togo.
and all of it, like all of the things that we uh found that was supposed to have been started in Haiti or indigenous to Haiti, you got at least ties back to Africa, that those things were brought as
Mhm.
well from the
Yeah,
Gege and the Petois.
right. Now, one thing that we already knew that me and you talked about, he made a mention in the book about how the Odu Ifa and the Opwele and that form of divination did not make it to Haiti. He said it was like a very small area that might have at least originally done it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay. Uh, but yeah, just like you and I had already talked about it, he made mention of that. No Pele, no Pon, none of that really made it over. And so because they said one of the Dahomey kings, uh, I think was either Gaja, I might be butchering the names, or Tegbusu, which is his son. Um, they weren't a fan of the traditional voodoo type of divination, which basically push a business out in front of everybody. They wanted a more private one-on-one situation. And so that's when you had the Yoruba who divined with the Opwele. And it was more of a private thing. And so the royal kings favored that type of divination.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, it's a good book.
But because they favored that type of divination, they didn't send those people into slavery.
Mm,
So
yeah,
you really get to see the reason why and how Haitian voodoo got set up the way it did, and why we're heavy on certain rights because of who was sent. Because they were like political prisoners. They was a lot of the priests of certain tribes. The king, especially Tekbusu, was like, no, I don't rock with them. I'm gonna send them into slavery. I'm gonna sell them off into slavery. So that's why you see certain things the way you see it in Haitian voodoo. It was very strategic about who they sent, and those people are what created um, Haitian voodoo. Even though they said at certain points there were certain tribes that went first, and then later on they started sending people of other tribes. So yeah, man, it was pretty good. It was pretty good
yeah, it's a
so
good book.
far.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good book.
Mm. All right, so let's get into what we came here to talk about. So, uh, what's that? Edgeo Warren or Edgeo Warren? Appreciate you. Thank you for listening to us and checking us out. We greatly appreciate the love. But when we first started the podcast, and I think we've done a good job of being true to this part. One of the things that we wanted to share with you guys is our spiritual journey, the ins and outs, the way our spiritual journey, the way we view spirituality, the way we may view Ifa or whatever the case may be, and how that is changing, how it's evolving, how we are expanding. And so this year has been one of those years where both of us have made some shifts and some changes. And so we want to share with you guys, what does that look like now? I don't think that priests really go into that a lot about, you know, where we are in the world. Like when you go through Igbodu, it's not like a Marvel movie where you go in and they flip a button and you come out a completely different person. You come out the way you went in. Ideally, because you have some more information, you apply that information, and that information changes you from the inside out.
Mm.
Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Um, and sometimes it changes you in interesting ways. So we just want to share with you guys as we close out a universal year 9 and a personal year 9 for both of us. So, uh, Osheun, let the people know where you are.
So, where am I? So, that was a good introduction, man. Yeah, letting people know the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, uh, where we are on our spiritual journeys. For me, Um, I'm kind of in limbo, and I think limbo is a bad word. Um, I can tell you that I don't have the conviction that I had, uh, let's say, a few years ago. Um, and because of that, my uh, enthusiasm surrounding Ifa and the practice of it, at least for other people, um, has wavered. So, as you and I have had this conversation uh, privately, I've kind of decided to step back, not step back from Ifa and its practice because this has nothing to do with the utility of Ifa. From my experience, Ifa works and I'll continue to use it. But um, I think that I would be doing the community a disservice by continuing to um, practice the quote unquote priestly duties for people in the community and me not be 100% there in mind, body, and spirit. So for me, that's where I am. I said I'm in spiritual limbo, and that's not really true. I'll continue to move forward in my spiritual quest and my questionings about spirituality, looking into other spiritual systems. um, some of the people already know that I'm looking into Vaishnavism, what most people call Hinduism, reading the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, taking classes, going to the temple, that type of thing. So I'm still on the search. Still, I'm still in Awo. I'm still Awo Sheun. I'm still have my uh, thoughts and knowings about Ifa and still using it to my benefit, the benefit of my family. But I did feel like I would be doing a disservice if I continued to work in the community and not be 100% there.
So I'm gonna say what you always say to me. Now you always say to me, I. So I've said this many times on the podcast. If you've been watching for a while, I always talk about my brother being a Virgo. I mean, excuse me, a Gemini.
Mm,
I'm a Virgo. He's a Gemini, and I have some other Gemini friends that I always talk about how like Geminis are the little brothers of the Mercury energy, and so uh, he every time I'm having well not every time sometimes I have a conversation with him and he'll hit me with I know uh, you said a lot. I know you think you said something, but you really didn't. So what does it mean? So okay, you said you were in limbo. Now you said that you still know E-file works, but now me and you have had some conversations where you have kind of questioned what does that actually look like
what does what look like?
when you talk about um E-file work.
Hmm.
Like for those who don't know, he and I make spiritual baths, oils, and things of that nature. Now, we've had a conversation about what infuses those products with the ability to do what it is that they're supposed to do. Now, so let's start there. What's your stance on that?
On what infuses these things to work?
Right.
I think it's a combination of a few things. I think it's a combination of intention. I think it's a combination of I think it's a part intention, part vibration or vibraturgy for the Rosicrucians out there. Um, and it's a mixture of a few things. But I also think that the person that's making those things has to um, be 100% there, present, and willing to do those things as well. I don't think that uh, a priest can be effective if um, his intentions may not be 100% pointing in the ways that it need to go, or and his vibration is not uh, as hot as it should be because of how he or she may be feeling.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. So what's shifting and changing where you don't think? Because I'm gonna tell you how I received it. I received it as you were saying that what gives those products the energy to do whatever it is that they're quote unquote supposed to do is inherent in like the herbs.
That's
So
a part of it as well.
so then there's nothing that has to do with the chants, the invocations, the afoshe of the priest or the person in general making it that actually charges it for it to be able to do what it does.
I think that's part of it. But I do think that there are energies and medicine inherent in the herbs that we pick from the earth. I believe that uh, the things that work. So I know where you're trying to go with it. Yes, I believe that anything that I have made myself with my own hands, doing the chants, the invocations, printing the odus, and that sort of thing, would work equally as well if somebody that only knew the inner workings of the herbs. Yes, I think that. So I think if say a hoodoo practitioner were to get the same herbs that I got, no chance, no invocations, no odus, put those together and was using them for the exact same purpose that I was using them for, that they would work just as well.
So on the flip side, first of all, yes, I agree that a lot of the magic, so to speak, or a lot of the power in it comes from the energetic resonance of the herb. That's why we don't just randomly pick herbs.
Mhm.
Like the herbs that we put in the baths, the oils, have a specific reason, have a specific energetic charge to it. Agreed. But even in hoodoo, they still have, why they may be different than what we use, they still have invocations, they still have prayers, they still infuse it with their own ashe, so to
Mhm.
speak.
But that's why I
And
was being
so,
specific about not using. Well, let's not use hoodoo as an example.
yeah,
Maybe
because
that
they
was a
do
bad
it. They,
example.
they they got their own thing. So they are doing the exact same thing that we're
So I'm
doing.
thinking, I'm thinking we'll just call him an herbalist, just a non-spiritual herbalist putting together the same herbs for the same purpose. I think those herbs will work just as well.
I think they will work. It's the just as well part for me. And because I feel like I always call myself a scientist. So I've done things like, for instance, on December 21st of this year, I am doing the monthly virtual Ibori or head cleansing, head washing, head rogation, whatever you want to call it. So for anybody who is interested, send me an email at wmyp@yahoo.com so you can join me for that ritual. It's $16 to join. So just let me know if you're interested. WMYP@yahoo.com. All right. So had to get that commercial. I've done an Ibori on myself as an aberration without doing it the way in which we do it now, or I do it now. I've done it as a priest, still not doing it the way I do it now. When I was in Appalachia, I got one from a priest who doesn't do it the way that I do it, and they all were okay, I guess. But you and I sat down and we talked about the process in which we did it, and the elements and the invocations and things of that nature that we came up with and how the Igbo read now, it was a major difference. So that's why I'm like, I do believe, no, I'm not even gonna say I believe that this is why I say, why I know, why I stand on that, yes, the type of herbs are important. The energetic resonance of the herb or that item is important. But there is something that happens when you do certain things a certain way with the particular invocations that we use. They are is supercharged. I do stand on that. Now, I wouldn't stand on that if I hadn't done it differently before as an Abarisha, as a priest, if I hadn't had it done by another priest, again, all different ways, I would feel differently. But the experience that I had, I was like, it's something to this. It's something to the chants, the invocations, doing things a certain manner that changes things.
Mm.
And so the experience made me look at it different. So another thing that we talked about. Now, I don't know if you want to say anything to that before I go on to another aspect.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, you and I have had these conversations privately, so yeah.
Absolutely. So divination. So we have talked about how you feel about divination now that has changed from how you saw divination in the past. And I just say it like that just because I want you to speak specifically about that area as opposed to me trying to regurgitate what you said.
No, remind me because I really don't remember.
Okay, well
I
then,
don't.
so then just go off of now. How do you feel about divination?
Um, again, I'm just not enthused about it, so I don't do it as much as I should do. Like I just don't do it. Um, I haven't divined in a while. The I can tell you that the over the past uh I'll just say year because all my time kind of run together. So I'll just say a year. For the past year, I probably haven't divine the way you divine or the way we used to divine, like divine for the week, divine for the day, divine for the month, those types of things. I haven't done that in forever. So again, it's just I don't think that takes away from the utility of Ifa. It just takes away uh my connection to it. Like I need my connection to the spiritual system that I practice to be strong and sustainable. Like it needs to be sustainable. So it's not like again, like I said, I'm not giving up on Ifao. It's not that I believed in divination at one point and don't believe in divination now. That's not the thing at all. It's just that there's a lack of connection to it right now.
So let's talk about that. You said you're not as enthused by the divination. And the reason why I bring that up for again for people who've been watching us for a long time, I've told the story many times about how we got into EFO
Mhm.
and how you found our Luo and you heard him speak a couple times and you was like, yeah, he the real deal. And I heard him speak and I was like, yeah, he really going places that you and I have been wanting to go. But then when you got the divination, how excited you came to me and was like, oh my God, I got this divination. He told me all that. And I was like, come on, man. Yeah, right. And then once I got my reading, I was sold. And so the fact that you still know that divination is a real thing, it helped me understand where the how the enthusiasm for it deteriorates or devolves.
I don't know. Like I say, what how I feel now doesn't take away from the utility of E5. Like I can
Mhm.
separate the utility of E5 from how I feel mentally and spiritually connected to it now. I honestly think that a lot of it has to do with, uh, once Baba left, like that was a kind of like I don't know, in Hinduism or in Vaishnavism, they call it it's something separation or separation something I can't. It's the way that disciples feel when their guru has left, when their guru leaves. Uh, so since then, us not being able to be in close proximity to Baba, being able to put our hands on Baba regularly, I think since then it's been downward for me. Um, and then finding other things that I can get into where I can put my hands on the people that would be uh, teaching me the things that I want to know. That kind of plays a role into it uh, as well. So again, I'm separating the utility of Ifa from how I feel connected or disconnected from
Okay. So as your warrant says, I make divination for my family every 16 days. That's my way to connect more with these five. Okay, so you're doing observing the Itato Goon, it sounds
it.
like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm with you on the Bible thing. You know, I remember walking around like I got divorced from the love of my life. Like it was crazy when Baba
Yeah, it was
left.
horrible, man. Yeah,
It
disconnect out of
yeah,
teachers.
it was a
Disconnect.
it was a disconnect, and I just was like, what now? I think what happened, what uh my response ended up being after I kind of, I don't know, it's like almost, even though I talk to Baba on a regular basis still, it kind of almost like I had to mourn his loss. And I went through my period. And then after that, it was like, I trust Ifa. Not I believe in Ifa. I don't even know if I want to use the word faith. I don't know. I ain't big in, but faith always sounds too much like belief to me. I trust Ifa because of the experience I had with Ifa, that my old dude said what I was supposed to do, and that didn't change because my Aluo left.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I still got to get to it. I still got to be about the business of my destiny and purpose. And so it really took me to a space where I was like, okay, what do I want this to look like? What does it need to look like? I remember even in my Ita, I was told that um, I would have a different outlook on what spirituality was that meant even from, people in the elect. And I found that very quickly to be the case. And so it was like, what do I need this to be for me and for the people who may come to me for guidance? And where I've gotten to this year has been where there is too much emphasis on ritual and not enough emphasis on your daily practice. And I'm not even talking about like daily practices, meaning the spiritual circuit, the prayer, meditation, divination, and ritual. There are things in spirituality or things in Ifa, the wisdom of nature, the natural order of things, that should be reflected in our day to day coming and going that we haven't mastered. And because we haven't mastered that, there's only so much that a ritual is going to be able to do for us. And we become so ritual dependent
Mm.
that we've actually lost focus on what does the wisdom of nature, the natural order of things actually means. Because if we focus on that part, we'll have this 80% mastered. I think in the practice of that thing, you can readily find information in the Eastern practices, Hinduism, Buddhism, the yogic traditions, Taoism, which is how I came into spirituality, were those types of things. And they talk more to things that really touch my heart and soul about what's your day to day. How are you sleeping? How are you eating? How are you drinking? What are the herbs that you're taking in? Um, how do you operate? Like one of the things, like we always talk about not wearing black at the ritual. Whenever you ever don't wear black, right? Because the vibration of black. But why we never talk about material?
Mm,
Because to me, if you have on a whole white outfit and it's nylon or polyester, won't it have the same effect or a very similar effect than if you came in there wearing black?
mm,
So that's the type of thing I'm talking about, the wisdom of nature, the natural order of things that is missing from the practice. And so I understand why you disassociated, or however you want to put it, step back from something like E5, or even you took a super backseat to Haitian voodoo.
you hating.
You took a super backseat. I see why you did that to do Hinduism because of how you were set up. You like step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm cool with giving me step 1, 5, and 10, and I'm gonna fill in the gaps.
Mm,
Because realistically, if I had step 1 through 10, I'm probably gonna make some changes anyway. I'm gonna do something that kind of fits me. Like, and so, or that resonates more with me, or that kind of makes more sense. Kind of like this. I'm a big proponent of fasting. And I know Muslims for Ramadan, they fast. I think the fast that they do is completely unscientific. So if I'm a fast, I'm a big proponent of fasting. I'm not a proponent of that type of fasting. And when I was in Egypt, I would watch people fast, and when the sun go down, bring out the cigarettes. What we doing? Like, how does that make sense? Where you have a practice like Hinduism, they ain't going for that. Hinduism is the nation of Islam of the spiritual community. And they run a tight ship. And I appreciate that because in African spirituality, we missing discipline.
mm.
And so, but here lies the problem. And I know all your old dudes. I know your natal chart. I definitely know I know your natal chart better than you know.
For sure, but I can't tell you nothing.
Your life path number, all of that. You always say, and I almost posted something telling the stories. I've heard people say the same thing or something very similar. You will always say to me, man, the way I need to see it, or the way I am, I need it to be like this. But what if that's part of the problem?
I
See,
mean, it
you
might be.
are, huh?
I say it might be. I mean, but at the end of the day, I think even though we get initiated into these elays, we get into uh, these houses, these communities, these systems. Uh, at the end of the day, spirituality is an individual journey.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that it's an individual journey because the individual has to decide. The individual
Absolutely.
has to choose. The individual has to be disciplined or not. Uh, he or she has a lot of decisions to make along this path that we call in this spiritual journey or this spirituality. Um, I think after studying my own Odu, my individual Odus, especially my Tefa Odu. My Tefa Odu doesn't speak about um, being out front. I'm talking about my own personal study
Hmm.
of my Odu. It doesn't talk about that. It does talk about priesthood. It does talk about introspection, meditation, blase, 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 looking at things in depth. Um, but it's a quiet Odu. It's a it's a uh, it's a reserved Odu, and I just think that that's the truth. What you just said is the truth for me. I need things to when I feel like something is for me, it'll I'll be enthused about it, and I'll be enthused about it indefinitely. That's how I feel. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that is as mystical, esoteric as I need it to be, but also sustaining me really, really spiritually and mentally. Um, that's what I'm looking for.
You know what's so beautiful about this, and you gonna realize it here in a couple minutes. You took the ball and you threw it up perfectly by the rim, and all I had to do was just like I barely had to even jump to grab it. You talked about your Tefa Odu, but that's only a piece because you got Ishefa, you got uh, Egbe, you have numerology, and you have your natal chart, right? Let me tell you what your natal chart says. Where is your north node?
I don't know. You gonna tell me all
Oh,
that?
you best believe I'm gonna tell you. The whole thing about you saying like it's a quiet this and what you want and not being up out front and this, that, and the other, that's where you used to be. See, that's your south node, right? Your north node, where you supposed to be aiming for in this lifetime, is in the 11th house, just like mine. What does that mean? The 11th house talks about doing things in a manner in which you serve the greater good of the community. You can't do that by not being out front. So, yes, you're supposed to be out front. Let me tell you another thing. You are master number 11, the master teacher. Who you teaching if you ain't out front? So, you're supposed to be doing that. Now, here's the thing about them two ones. Them two ones, stubborn, want to do things how you want to do it, a little bit selfish at times, you know. You want to do things the way you want to do things, which Iwari or your Tefa Odu in NEB, that's what that energy is. Because the two, because you are number two, right? The two has to do with patience and compromise, right? The exact opposite of the energy. That two energy also is about, it's a feminine energy. It's about you tapping into that feminine space, which is the exact opposite of where you're going. Also, another thing, I know your egg bail do. To me, I hear that energy too. That kind of at times can butt heads. I always say that your destiny and purpose is a choice you got to make twice. You made it first there, you got to make it here. I used to say all the time. I don't say it no more. Now I ain't saying I don't say it because I don't necessarily feel this way no more. I just don't say it no more. I used to always say I don't want God children. Even after my Itai said, Baba said, I don't care how you feel, or I know you don't want God children, but you're gonna have to have it. Now the crazy part about it, I never told him I ain't want no God children. I only told you. I know you ain't tell nobody, but I know Baba be tapped in. But that was the message, and so I stopped saying I don't want God children because I want everything that I'm supposed to do in this lifetime. I don't want to come back and have to. to do a do-over. I don't want to come back and have to do something that I didn't do this lifetime. So you know what? Bring on the godchildren. If that means I'm supposed to have two, or it's supposed to be 2022, whatever it is, I'm open for it. But I realize that my destiny and purpose is not going to be something that I'm necessarily going to be in love with all the time. Like it's not. That whole thing where you saying what you chose is gonna be something you're gonna be. Nah, I don't have that expectation. I know that ain't the case. I know that ain't the case. It's sometimes I don't be willing to call the people and do the readings. I don't really be. It's something else that I would prefer to do. You know. But every time I get done, I be like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Every time I get done. Now, it might be a point where I get off the phone and I don't feel like that. That don't mean that ain't what I'm supposed to do. A lot of times I got to do is other things that I'm doing that I ain't supposed to be doing. That's taken away from me doing what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, and so yeah, I think you not even I think I'm going off your old dudes, your natal chart. I'm bringing it all in its totality. You got to be upfront.
And it may be that. It may be that. It's just it may not be with E5. It may be with E5. It may, I mean, it may get to that point. We're just talking about right now today. I may at some point get back to somewhere through something, through some other spiritual system, through E5, through Vodou, through something, and may get back to that. But right now, uh, my Tefa Odu is in the lead right now.
Your Tefal was doing Osobo in the league. Oh, another thing
That
too
may that may be the case.
about you being up front. Um, you are called to be a high priest in Haitian voodoo. Again, something else that talks about you being out front.
I might get there. I may still get there.
You might.
I might
Um,
I may
but the
still
thing
get there.
about it, so I'm gonna tell you one of the things that you're doing that makes it harder to get there is not divine. Not like I don't think I think it's been years since you've gotten a reading from somebody other than yourself. Even, you know what I'm saying? Like, when the last time you didn't got a reading from somebody else?
A long time.
A long time. Me divining, the reason why I divine the way I do and as much as I do is because I know me. I know it's easy for me to be like, let me go over here and do this. I know it's easy for me to do that. So E5 stays on my ass. Anytime I want to go left, because I divine, like you said, I divine for my energy every morning. I divine every Sunday for the energy of my week, and I do monthly readings. And every time I be wanting to slide to the left, here come one of my readings, very timely. Yo, what you doing? I be like, damn, you right. Let me get back focused. If you don't have that, because we all need it until we get to a point where we don't. And I know I'm not at that point where I don't need it. How do you get back? And I get at least 2 readings every year from somebody outside of myself. Because sometimes the therapist gotta have their own therapist. And so, and that stops me from being in a position where I make my reading say wherever I wanted to. I interpret it however I want to kind of, allow me to be on the nonsense when I want to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get those readings, it helps keep me in line. It helps keep me in check. So how do you get to that place without utilizing the tools that are essentially created to keep us in alignment?
So let me ask you this, because
Hmm.
because it seems as if you're speaking from a place where Ifa voodoo or African spirituality are the end all be all. Like there are no other spiritual systems by which we attain the same goal that I think most spiritual systems are in search of. So let's start right there. Is that what you saying
You know
that
I don't believe
E5?
that.
Huh?
You know I don't believe that. I've said a
Okay.
million times, you know this one. If I would have found the Baba Femi of Taoism, I would probably not be Awo Fafore right now. That would have been my
Right.
stop.
But that ain't
Yeah.
what I'm asking though. What I'm asking is that it seems as if what you're saying is that the only way for me to get to the goal that you were just talking about is through E5.
No, because we got initiated in the Haitian voodoo. So clearly,
Okay,
I don't believe it.
African spirituality.
I definitely don't believe that either. We just had a conversation at the beginning of the thing. I talked to you about I done read 2 books by Sadhguru.
Okay,
Like I
so
don't
then
so but let me go into that. I believe the end all be all I cannot say. The reason why I say I cannot say is because you didn't divine on whether or not you were supposed to do Hinduism. You know for sure that, well, we divined about Haitian voodoo. We didn't divine on E5. You know what I'm saying? We got the E5, we loved it. You know what I'm saying? We went through the Ishe 5 and then the Tay 5. We divined on Haitian voodoo. We had talked about doing um Palo. Now I divined on Palo for myself, and Spirit said no. Nah. Right. And so I divined on Haitian voodoo on top of Mambo saying, yo, we were called. And then I went and confirmed it on my own that that was the answer. So I divine on all these things. So I can tell you what my end all be all is. My end all be all, end all be all ain't African spirituality. Because I know there's other things where I'm but right. I really thoroughly enjoy the Eastern tradition because I'm a Virgo sun. The practical aspects of the yogi traditions, Hinduism, Buddhism, on the day-to-day, like Taoism, like I'm sure those things exist in the Odu Ifa, but it doesn't exist in what I see in practice here in the States. And I don't think it exists in general, even in Africa. But I haven't been to Yoruba land in Africa for me to confirm that. So I say I think. But I see enough people who practice from the, and I've had enough conversations that I'm like, I'm comfortable that's what the case may be. Um, but no. I don't think it's the end all be all.
all right,
Um,
so if it's not the end all be all, and I know you bringing up Hinduism because that's what I'm into right now, but at some point, I mean, I may stop messing with Hinduism and start messing with something else that leads me to the goal that I'm supposed to reach in this lifetime. What I'm saying is that I don't need Ifa or Vodou to attain the goal that we're calling the end all be all right now.
See,
No specific spiritual system.
so let me ask you this. If in divination it was said that you were called to be a high priest in Haitian voodoo, you telling me that you can do whatever you need to do in this lifetime without doing that and you good.
No,
If spirit said that's what
what I'm saying is that we say colloquially there's more than one way to skin a cat. I think it's many ways to go about getting to the same place. And we got somebody that asks, if it's not your end all be all, then why practice it now? I think what we're talking about when we say end all be all is, or what I mean by end all be all, is the way that Christians use Christianity and say that the only way you can get to God is through Jesus. See, I don't believe that there's one specific spiritual system that's so-called right, and that this is the only way that you can attain the the spirit realm. I think Ifa is a way, not the way.
Wait a
I
minute.
think
You could be a murderer your whole life and still get, you know what I'm saying, obtain the spiritual realm. We don't have no heaven or no hell. What I'm saying is
you
this.
know what I'm talking about, and I'm answering the question that she
Mhm,
asked was she asked, if it's not your end all be all,
mhm.
then why practice it now? And I've never ever looked at Ifa, even from the beginning, as the only way to achieve anything. I've I've never looked at it like that. I've never looked at Christianity or Islam or any of these, because they're all the same to me. At the end of the day, all of these spiritual systems are the same in essence. They're all making an attempt to get you to the same place. The theology may be different. The culture through which these spiritual systems come through may be different. So the cosmology is different. The stories being told are different. But at the end of the day, they're all trying to get you to be hopefully have good character, do what you're supposed to do in this lifetime, and I guess prepare for the next one until you reach what E5 calls a good condition or a good position.
So let me be clear what I'm saying. First of all, I separate religion from spirituality. So you listed all these traditions. I would take, for me, I would take Christianity out of it.
Hmm.
Um, but what I'm saying is, if my if on this lifetime I was supposed to do five things, I had five goals that I made a decision that I was going to accomplish on this lifetime. If I accomplished four of them, I did not accomplish the mission. So what I'm saying is, I guess when I'm looking at end all be all, for me, EFI is the end all be all for me. Also, along with Haitian voodoo, also along with whatever other things that I'm supposed to do. Like it's all encompassing. Now,
So we're
there's
not using it the
no
same way.
huh?
I say, well, then we're not using it the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
way.
exactly. That's why I'm saying that I wanted to be clear. We're definitely not using it the same way. This whole idea of some kind of spiritual enlightenment. Yes, you can get spiritual enlightenment from any spiritual system. Again, for me, religion is not a spiritual system. But for any spiritual system, you can get enlightenment. That's why I don't have no problem with any of it. If I show people my bookshelf, I got it all on there. I got books on Christianity, uh, Hinduism, the yoga, everything. I'm with it all. Um, but whatever it is that I came here to accomplish, or whatever it is that you came here to accomplish, is important that you accomplish those things.
Yes.
And we know, well, let me tell you, because maybe you might feel like you don't know. Do you believe or know, based upon divination, that you came here in this lifetime to be initiated as a high priest in Haitian voodoo?
I mean, I was told that.
Do you think that's the truth?
Um,
Because I was told it, and then
I don't know.
and you always clown me like you don't believe nobody because you divine on yourself. Yeah, I want to know for sure. I have an Opuele. I'm a divine, so I know I came here to do that because I divine on it myself.
I may
And
still get there though. That's what I'm saying. Like it's this could be this would be the conversation that we would be having if I told you I was an atheist, or if I told you that no, I'm done with Ifa. I'm done with African spirituality. That's not what I'm telling you. This would be a conversation if we were doing if I was telling you that. But that's not what I'm telling you.
I know that's not what you're saying, but so, but from an action standpoint, you have put everything on the back burner. In Hinduism, is like your 100% is on that. The difference is that you send me excerpts from whatever you read on Hinduism, and I read them. I like them. I got books on Hinduism. I'm about to read the Bhagavad Gita. I'm with it all. I'm just not putting anything else on the back burner to do it. I'm doing it along with it. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm what fascinates me about Hinduism.
Wait. Let's and we're gonna get to that. So it's not where I'm doing it along with it as well. It's just that the way it's just not in the public no more. That's what it's not like I don't still go to my ancestor altar, still do my Ori prayers, still do all of that. I'm still utilizing Ifa. Just may not be in the same way you utilizing Ifa, or the same way that other people may be utilizing Ifa. But I'm still utilizing Ifa just for me though. I feel like it's a disservice for a priest to perform for the community and not be 100% there with that aspect of uh, the priesthood, or that aspect of the practice of Ifa. My practice, my personal practice with Ifa is that's still going on as well.
I got that on that. But when it comes to Haitian voodoo, right? You said you no longer going to the luau.
Mm-mm.
And then you said that you're not divining for yourself. Are
Been
you
not
not you're not divining, you don't go to other people to get to divine for you, none of that. So
I,
divination,
I've been not doing that.
I know. Trust me, you know I know. Here's the thing though. It I don't know how you get there's only two ways that I see you get to where your old dues, your natal chart, and your life path number says, based on where you are today. It's either add those two things back into your regular practice, or tragedy. Something tragic happens that makes you make that sharp left. I always said I don't like uh consequences. I'm not a consequence. It's a lot of stuff that I ain't done in life that I might have thought about. Then I thought about the consequences. I'm like, oh hell no, I ain't doing that. I have seen how I have changed in going to the luau on a regular basis and divining for myself on a regular basis, or getting readings twice a year from other diviners, and how that has changed and shifted me over the last year. Doing the Iboris once a month over the last year, I see how that has changed me. My intuition has gone through the roof. My prophetic dreams is going through the roof. I'm seeing spirits walk around in the daytime. That has all changed because of things that I know I was supposed to do, because it's a part of my old dude that I always had an excuse of why I had some other things that I needed to do in that time. And when I started doing it, I remember when Mambo, we used to always talk to Mambo, and she'd be like, we're like, well, what do we do now? Because we wanted some information. We wanted to give us some stories, give us this, give us that, give us some rituals. And she'd be like, just keep going to your luau. And me and you would talk about afterwards, and it'd be like, man, nah, I need some more than that. Just going to the loo until continuing to go to the loo, and I did it out of, all right, I'm gonna just do it because that's what I'm supposed to do. Not because I was super excited about it, because I wanted some more information. I wanted something else. And I watched how that started to shift and change things for me. Like it started getting real spooky in a good way, where I started having experiences. I'm like, yo, this what I'm talking about. To the point now where I'm trying to shift things around and go and do all those things that I wasn't doing before. And so that is my thing with you. Like I'm glad that you doing this. I'm glad now that you I feel like since you really been into Hinduism, it's like you was kind of vegan, but I feel like now you really tapped into the food thing because they really be on that food thing, right? Hinduism has made me go to ritual, African spiritual ritual, whether it's Haitian voodoo or Ifa, and I'm really disturbed, for the lack of a better word, with the alcohol, alcohol consumption at ritual. Because I know you ain't getting nowhere near the temple with no liquor. You know what I'm saying? And to me, liquor is something that you can't moderate. To me, it has no space in spirituality. Yeah, I know that they do it and they've been doing it for however long or whatever, but you can't convince me that consumption of liquor, I don't care if it's in a ritual or not, is cool. And I know that I stand in the minority on that. So I like I like Hinduism because I can go to Hinduism like, see, look, man, they that's my tribe. They on my type of time. You know what I'm saying? The diet, the fasting, um, the focus on discipline that is severely missing in African spirituality. I love it. I've been messing with those traditions since I got into spirituality. And I'm going to continue to rock with it. I can't wait until I go to India for like a month and I'm gonna be with the gurus doing downward dog and getting real game. But I know I also came here to be a priest of Ifa. Now, my priest of Ifa gonna look real different. I know I came here to be Ugan Asogwe, and I'm gonna do that. It's gonna look way different. I go to the temples, I'm with all of that. All I'm saying is that if you just added those two things back in, I think you will have a more robust experience because what you're missing is that feminine, energetic tie into the spirit realm. And I'm trying to, and I just got my toe dipped in it. I ain't even all the way in it. And I see how beautiful it is. And that's why I'm like, yo, I'm now on this kick. And me and you ain't never been on this. But I'm coming to you with the level of excitement that you did when you first got your reading. Like, yo, this is dope over here. And I'm like, and I told you before, me and you had a conversation. We was talking, I said, do your thing. I'm not tripping. But go to your do wild weekly. Just do that. Just add that in there and see what happens.
Yeah, and that may get back. I mean, even and it would. I mean, it would still be an individual thing,
I'm cool with
even
that.
if I
Yeah.
and adding the divination and all of that, divining for myself. Like I say, it's I'm not an atheist. I ain't threw away my old pawn and my my Iroke and my altars. Like those things are still uh here. I'm still doing my personal thing, and even if I do, like I say, it may that may come back at some point. Getting back into the divination and going to the Loire. I mean, you can see my Loire. They still they up.
They
I
dusty.
I
That's what
greet
they.
my Loire. Huh?
Oh, so you still greet your luau,
I still greet my Loire.
but you don't talk to them.
To me, when you say go to your Loire, that means like the whole kid and caboodle, the whole thing.
This is what I mean by going to your luau. And I didn't shift it on this too. Well, I ain't gonna say I shifted. I didn't have an opinion. I guess I just took what I was given. Man, I done had people hit me up like, "Hey, I want a traveling SU." I'm not giving you no traveling SU. You got an SU at your crib. When you travel, tap into you. Tap into the SU inside of you. I'm not big on that. I'm not big on Opaiku. I'm not big on Ile Ori. You was born with an Ori. I feel like if the reading come down and say you need an Ile Ori, that's what this really saying is that because you ain't going to your Ori, then I'm gonna give you an implement. Maybe you will do better at that. So just go to your Ori and you good. Oh, probably cool. You not going to your ancestors? Why you need that if you going to your ancestors? Like I'm not big on that type of thing. Yes, Ebori is key to recalibrating yourself. This is why for the last year, once a month, I have done a group virtual Ebori. The biggest change in me speaking over these last few months versus what the conversations I might have had a year or two ago is me doing monthly Ebor reads. Man, my boy, I'm telling you, these Ebor reads be going crazy. The alignment, the opening up of my intuition, man, I'm telling you, I'm about to be one of them. You know how they back in the day they used to have the medium that used to be on like Sally Jassy, Raphael, and Oprah and all that. I'm about to be one of them. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
doing these Ebor reads. So listen, tap in with me. December 21st. I'm doing the monthly Ebor read. It's $16 to join. Be in a group setting. It's an amazing time. If you're interested, hit me up at WMYP@yahoo.com to get registered. Man, Ebori is key. If I can only do one ritual for the rest of my life, matter of fact, if I can only do one thing, including divination, I would choose Ebori every time. I would choose Ebori over everything because the Ebori is that big of a deal. But no, I know you're not
I agree
atheist.
with you.
I know you're not doing all that. All I'm saying is go once a week, talk to your the luau, let them know what you need, let them know what you want, tell them to come talk to you, all that other good stuff. And I'm telling you, and just be consistent at it. And you might not hear nothing next week. You might not hear nothing a month from now. It may not be 6 months from now. But I'm telling you, that consistency of going to them spirits and that Ibori, I'm telling you, life changed. That and I started doing my spiritual baths, which with my old dude, I should do that on a regular basis, especially because I do spiritual work. And I was neglecting myself, but I stopped neglecting myself and I started really focusing on it. So I'm just saying, I don't care about you doing readings for nobody else. I don't care about you doing no spiritual work for nobody else. Take your time out from that. Do that. Cool. But I'm telling you, go to them luau, go, man, and get you a read at the beginning of the year. Get you a yearly read, man. Or just get you a read. Just go somewhere, get you a read, and you will be all right.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you.
I'm all right. Yeah, uh but yeah, man, I'll get back and yeah, and add those things back into it. Like I say, I ain't become no atheist. I haven't dropped my uh Erosu side or none of that. So
It's
yeah.
leaning though.
Nah, it ain't, it
Now the
ain't, it
roaster
ain't, it
started
ain't
leaning a
leaning. It's
little
still,
bit to the left.
it's still standing straight up out there, man. It's just, I'm taking a break.
But that's what's up. As long as you add them two things, then I'm cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are, those will be back. Yeah, man.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad we got to talk about this. I think this was like you said at the beginning, us sticking with the core of what our podcast was about and keeping people abreast of our spiritual journeys, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, and bringing the people along with us on this ride. And yeah, right now it's just it's a it's a break. It's a break for me as far as at least as far as the public is concerned. I
Right.
still feel like I'm doing uh, the main things as far as Ifa is concerned, or African spirituality as a whole for some of the parts as a whole, which is still going to my ancestors, still doing my Ori prayers. Those things are still high priority for me.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're gonna add them two things in and let that sit in your spirit. But I am happy that you're doing Hinduism. Hopefully it gets you out of the coffee drinking. Um, because that's poison to your body.
Yeah,
And
that's one of the things too. As part of the, if you listen to the strictest of the strict, talk about the regulative principles, coffee and tea, or they tell you not to drink.
I'm assuming it's like caffeinated tea. It ain't like herbal tea.
Nah, it's like that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
liquid.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because caffeine is one of the things, but they also, like I say, the strictest of the strict. A lot of them don't eat. They don't eat garlic and onions. So
Garlic, I've heard about. Even people in the whole food plant based, even though it is a whole food, whatever. But those really health conscious vegans, I've heard things about garlic as well. Some people like they trip, and some people like. So I still do garlic from time to time. But I'm glad you do it. Like one of the things that I implemented here lately, just by digging back into the Hinduism stuff, is I eat like how they talk about the monks eating. I eat twice a day, most days. Um, no snacks or anything like that in between. That has a basis in health because you don't want to spike your insulin, and so you completely digest a meal before you have another meal. So that's something I do, and then I do a 24-hour fast once a week. Um, and it's a part of my lifestyle. So
mhm.
that's something that I've really been doing as I've been, like I said, I've always over the last 12, 13 years have consistently dabbled here and there in those practices because they really align with what I feel like the wisdom of, not even gonna say I feel like, it aligns with what the wisdom of nature is. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so I'm all into it, but I'm glad you add them two things and you will be good.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we got
so
we got one
anything
more.
else?
We got one more comment. Yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate you. Yeah, Adi Tutu say, I understand the break, catch your breath, and recalibrate. You're still on the journey. That's how I feel about it. It's not. I haven't uh, gotten off the path and made a complete stop. I'm still on the path. I've just stopped. I like how you say that. Catch your breath. Stop. Catch my breath. Because I feel like a lot of the reading that I do, like there'll be some times where, I mean, this is since I've started heavy reading anyway. At some point, I have to read a novel. At some
Yeah.
point, I'm gonna
Hmm.
stop and be like, "All right, man. I'm chilling right now. I didn't put too much in. Now I'm just gonna find me a book and just kind of read for something I can read straight through. It ain't gonna take me months to read it. I can just I just that's how I've been taking my breaks from study is by uh reading a novel every now and again.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
But yeah, man, I'm just taking a break, man. I'll get
Yeah.
back.
I do that too. I at some point in the year, like right now, I'm in that point since October, since I was furloughed from my government sanctioned vacation. But from October and probably through the end of the year, I haven't been studying Odoo like I normally do throughout the year. I just been reading books that I wanted to read for my own knowledge and understanding. I really been heavy in the breath work, so I read a book called Breathe. That's the other book that I read. Um, so the things that I want to read now they happen to be educational in nature most of the time. But like, we done jumped off and read some, but I read some Paulo Coelho books that did
Hmm.
uh what's the book he wrote
The
that everybody
Alchemist.
that read? The Alchemist, yes. I got like a 11 book series on him. So once a year I might grab one of his books. I read The Pilgrimage by him last year.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll do stuff like that. The was it Children of Blood and Bone? Those books, I love them type of books.
I
So I
still ain't
read
read the second one yet.
man, you need to read the second one, and the third one is cold. So
Yeah.
read those. So yeah, I'll do that as well. So right now, I probably won't read an Odoo book or nothing EFI or related. Or I guess I'm reading this voodoo book, but I wanted to learn about the connection between West African voodoo and Haitian voodoo. It's a really good read. Um, the Way of the Peaceful Warrior is one as well. Yeah, I got like a gift set of 11 of his books. I think Valkyries, for whatever reason, is something that I'm thinking about reading next if he is. So, but we'll see how that goes. Well, family, we appreciate y'all for tapping in with us, man. We about to, get off of here. My brother he got class he got Hindu class that he got to get to. So, but we wanted to have this conversation. We ain't tapped in with y'all. Next year, we promise we gonna get back to the episodes. We got some co-interviews we trying to do. So we back on that motion. But we kind of like this format too of just being able to talk directly with the people. EFI is in everything. All roads lead home. Ashe. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Um, if you haven't, seen the whole thing, watch the replay. Again, virtual e-board read, December 21st. Tap in with me if you interested. WMYP@yahoo.com. Send me an email if you're interested and register. WMYP@yahoo.com. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.